Globalization is the connection and integration of people, businesses, governments all across the world. It refers to the increasing interdependence of world's economies, cultures, and populations as a result of cross-border trade in commodities and services, investments, people, technology, and information. Due to the increasing developments of transportation and communication technology, globalization has accelerated since the 18th century.
Globalization is very important to the study because understanding contemporary international political economy is an essential part of being an informed citizen. Understanding globalization is a very important part of learning about our human involvement with the environment and society. Our daily experiences at school, work, and home are an integral part of the globalization process. We live in an independent global political economy. The concept of understanding globalization provides us with the tools necessary to be productive members of our local and global communities. The purpose of studying globalization to understand the differences and similarities of different cultures and to understand how we are connected and at the same time separated from the world.
Globalization has a number of detrimental environmental consequences: increased greenhouse gas emissions, ocean acidification, deforestation, and other forms of habitat loss or destruction, climate change, and the introduction of invasive species all work to reduce biodiversity around the world as a result of globalization. Let's keep the planet clean and green. Save the earth now. It's the only home we have. Its future is in our hands.
Although globalization has been unavoidable to many countries, an effect has been made with aims to take opportunities created from it to develop their society and people. In recent years, there are increasingly international concerns of dangerous impact of globalization on indigenous and national development. Various social movement has been initiated against threats of globalization, particularly in the developing countries. Many people believe that education is one of the local key factors that can be used to moderate some impact of globalization from negative to positive and convert the threats into opportunities for the development of individual and local community in the inevitable process of globalization. Economic growth for the last decades has been accompanied by a worsening of inequalities in the world, and in a particular, inequality of access to knowledge. While education deficits are obviously greater in the developing countries, it is a major issue in a developed country as well. In many industrialized countries, there is a persistent problem of illiteracy and low skills, which is an important source of social exclusion. An equal source of education can also fuel a growing wage of inequality and worsen the income distribution.
Positive effect of globalization on education bring fast development of communication technology and foreseeing changes in school system around the world as the ideas, values and knowledge and the change the role of students and teachers. Education system is closely related to technology development. Globalization enhances the ability of learners to access, assess, adapt, and apply knowledge, to think independently, to exercise appropriate judgment, and to collaborate with others to make sense of a new situation. Globalization produces an increased quantity and scientifically and technically trained person. Through developments, education, people can understand their own situation in a wider context, makes connection between local and global events, events skills and knowledge to interpret events affecting their lives.
So, these are the positive impacts of globalization. First, give access to a larger market. Through globalization, countries and companies have access to a bigger consumer base. Instead of only selling products in their country, a business can expand to other regions, boosting sales and in the process of making more money. The second one is provides cheaper goods for consumers. Because of globalization, a lot of companies are moving to areas where their cost of production is low day. In turn, offer cheaper products because they are not expensive to make, hence lower prices for consumers. And lastly but not the least, globalization lets countries do what they do best. For example, a country can buy cheap steel from another country instead of making its own steel. So, they can then focus their efforts on making other things they are good at like computer and export them to the countries they import cheap steel from.